Today in the studio, folks, as always, I got a real treat for you. You may remember him from the last time he was here. He wrote the book called Bluefishing. Steve Sims in the house.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Old Steve loves motorcycle sims.
I do like my two wheels. I know you're a four-wheel boy, but I got to admit, that's too many wheels for me. I like them too.
I like motorcycles. I got rid of them, though. I used to ride them. One guy told me one time, you meet more doctors riding motorcycles. I'm like, really? A lot of doctors ride motorcycles? He goes, no, but you meet a lot of doctors riding motorcycles.
Yeah, especially in LA. I could agree with that.
I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. And so when I had kids, I said, I'm going to give these things up. But you like the fast ones.
Gee, I like them all. I've got old 1975 kind of vintage British things, and I've got super bikes that you can competitively race. There's something about today not being able to unplug. Like, you can get on a plane now, and people can freaking email you. You know, you cannot get away from your phone today. But when you're on the bike, no one can call you. You can't go to a Starbucks. No, because you can't answer it.
Why not?
No, I love the disconnect. That's the whole point. I like to get away. That's my idea of meditation. Two wheels, either skirting on your knee around a racetrack or just dribbling around Mulholland on a vintage. I just love to get on two wheels and disconnect from the planet for half hour.
Now, the reason he's back, folks, not only because, you know, he's one of my buddies, but he's got another book hitting the shelves. Matter of fact, it should be out right now. Go for Stupid, The Art of Achieving Ridiculous Goals. Go for Stupid. Now, What does that mean?
It was a weird old thing that we used to use when we had Bluefish, which was the concierge company that used to work with, like, you know, Elon Musk, Elton John and stuff. Whenever we would get a challenge...
Can you get Elon on my podcast?
Can you say please?
Please.
So when we would get someone that would give us a request, we would literally sit around there, the house, the room, the office, and just go, okay, what's the stupidest thing we can come up with? Because most people go, hey, I want to go for this impossible goal. Or I'm gonna do this, but hey, it's impossible, but let's try. We decided that was a bad word. Once it was in your head, once it was in your vocabulary, it screwed with your progression. So we always used to literally say, right, okay, what's the stupidest thing we can go with here? You know, you want to get married? I wonder if we can get the Pope to do it. You know, you want to go and have a dinner party in Florence? I wonder if we can shut down a museum and have Andrea Bocelli serenade you while you're eating your pasta. We wanted to go for stupid, ridiculous goals and then see about achieving them. And the daft thing is, we found we could. And so it was an old saying that we've had for about 10 years. And then COVID, this whole cancel culture and this whole gotcha society where people would pick out a picture of you at a fancy dress party in like 1997 and go, oh my God, you've upset the culture of, you know, the Penguins or whatever. And I just hated it. And I realized that today we're actually not frightened of trying things. We're frightened of other people seeing us fail and laughing at us. So I was kicking around with friends and I was coming up with these different concepts and it became a book. And so Go for Stupid is a book on how you need to set laughable goals. You need to go for them to a point where people are going to ridicule you and then you know you're in the right area to do them.
The Art of Achieving Ridiculous Goals. Now, before we get into how to do that, because I want to get into it a little bit, I want to go back and talk about cancel culture.
Yep.
Now, what's your thoughts on cancel culture?
Ridiculous. I think people are looking to kind of like grab a banner.
But who's canceling? Like, in other words, it's almost like, you ever notice how sometimes there's hot nightclubs and hot restaurants and, you know, the cool places to be. I've always wondered who decided that those are the ones. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then I always wonder, like, who's canceling who? Like, in other words, I'm not canceling somebody because they said this or did that. I'm not canceling them, but the media is.
Bingo. There you go. And I live in LA. The hot club is the one that's got the most media, you know? So, and as soon as it stops paying for that media, it's the has-been club, you know? So the bottom line of it is we're all sheep. Directed by, you know, you got to wear this watch, you got to drive this car, you mustn't watch that show anymore because, oh my God, they said that. Oh, you can't go to this anymore. We've got this entire concept where people are literally cancelling things based on a cultural drive. And people need to start standing up for themselves. If you like something, fucking watch it. You know, if you want to hear that person, if he's politically incorrect, but he makes you laugh, Watch it. Listen to it. I think we're listening to too many people and allowing them to decide what we do.
And I'm trying to figure out who's those people.
It's a lot of it is driven by the media. A lot of, like, when we came out with the book, a lot of people wanted to say, "Oh, you want to get in the press." Why? No one trusts the press. I want to speak to people like you, buddies, and go out and go, "Look, we got to stop doing this." The last thing you're going to do is try and spread that message on a toxic platform like the press.
Dude, cancel culture to me is, in my mind, the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
But it's the society of the gotcha society as well. You think about it.
What's the gotcha society?
If you think about TikTok, if you think America's Funniest Videos, if you think about the Real Housewives of wherever, we're in a society where we like to point, stare, and ridicule. We love to be able to go, something. Give you an example.
We like train wrecks.
We love train wrecks.
We like drama.
We do. But sometimes we create it and it shouldn't. Now,
we always do that.
You mentioned Elon. Okay. Do you remember when Elon brought out the Cybertruck?
Yes.
Right. This was a truck that the only similarity between that and anything else was that it had 4 tires. The engines, the steering, the electronics, the composite, the bodywork was all different. The windows were all different. Everything was different. But what was the headline the following day that he unveiled that truck?
That the windows didn't work.
The bulletproof window didn't work. Now, if you're fucking caring about a bulletproof window, you don't need that truck. You need to move. That's the first thing you need to think about. But
did you see the demonstration where they threw the rock and it smashed the window?
I saw it where it smashed it.
You would think they would test that before they did that, or they did it on purpose. Which one?
Did you see the videos after where they actually shot guns at it?
And it didn't let the bullet through?
It didn't let the bullet through, but no one really cared. We'd already laughed at him.
So it was bulletproof. It just wasn't rock proof.
It failed. It failed the stress test. Now, we don't know why. It could have been someone knocked it, whatever. He could have gone for any of the other windows and it would have been fine. Maybe that one was just faulty. The point is, rather than celebrating someone trying to do something different, we want to ridicule them. And we want to take the piss out of them. And that's bad. And I think it's holding us back. And I think it's toxic.
So what if someone's listening to this and they're that person?
Well, for a start, I don't think they will be. Because the people that listen to your show are pissed off.
Oh, I got some listeners that are those sumbitches, I guarantee you.
Look, they got nothing better to do than the haters.
Exactly. That's how I know.
Yeah.
Because when you have people that don't like you, they're the ones that consume most of your shit.
They do. They do. I remember
they want to just sit there in disgust and listen to this whole damn episode, this whole bullshit ridiculousness.
I remember someone saying to me, "Be so successful, you have haters." I remember when I used to, get press for doing things with billionaires around the planet. People would literally send me hate mail saying, "How do you sleep at night?" And I said, "Very comfortable on a $10,000 mattress. Thank you very much." But you will get those people throwing rocks at you.
Well, what do you say to these people that might be listening to this podcast that are those people, those mother frickers that we're talking about?
Well,
they're the ones trying to ridicule. They're the hate. They're the ones leaving bullshit comments on your social media. They're the ones saying, fucking, we shouldn't buy his shit because he did this or said that.
Yeah, but they're not progressive. There's no progression in that hate.
But what would you say to those people?
Oh, well, the obvious one is, I was going to say meet me outside, but that's about a bit amateurish and a bit immature. I don't hear them. That's the truth. You see, the bottom line of it is when someone's jeering at you, first of all, you've got to look at who's the person doing the jeering. 9 times out of 10, the person pointing fingers laughing at you can't afford you. So they become white noise. So I don't hear them. The person, like if you turn around to me and you see a video I do, or you see a podcast I do, and you phone up and you go, "Sims, what the hell were you thinking about that podcast?" I'm going to listen because you're a pro. You know what you're doing. And I know while I'm going to get a few F-bombs and you're going to take the piss, you're there for love. You're there for my growth. You're there to support me because I made a mistake in that episode. But the other person has never run a show. The other person that doesn't know how to do this stuff, that's jeering at me, can't hear them because they add nothing to me. And that's the thing today. Rather than us worrying about getting 1,000 people throwing rocks at us, first of all, ask yourself, do they matter? Are they going to move the needle? Were they buying from you in the first place? Were they part of your coaching? Were they supporting you? And if not, it's gnats.
Now, pretend someone listening, the only person listening is one of those people. What would you say to them?
You really want me to say something vulgar?
Well, I know. It's just, what would you say? Like, for example, here's what I would say. I would say, look, why don't you allow people to do what they want, think what they want, believe what they want, as long as it doesn't harm you or others? Like, what is wrong with that concept?
I would have a different angle.
Because to me, that's what people should do. I don't give a rat's dick what you like. I don't give a rat if you're freaking a scumbag racist and I don't like that. Well then I don't see you anyway. I walk away, I go some other direction. I don't worry about what it is you're doing. Right. Whether you're I mean again, some people could say, "Well, that's not good. You should stand up for stuff like that." Well, I understand in that respect, but when I'm talking to the individual that's thinking it and saying it and spewing hate for no reason, when I'm talking to that person, I want to say to that person, dude, like, you be you and let everyone else be them. Okay. Just like, if everyone just let everyone be themselves, I think this world would be a lot better off. There would be no cancel culture.
Correct. I think what you've said is correct there. But the curiousness in me is I would want to question them and find out what is happening in your life that you are so close to that growth.
So you want to counsel them?
Maybe I do. I want to basically, I want to find out what it is. I'd love to hit it head on. You know, the classic ones. You get people to say to you on a podcast, "Hey, alive or dead, who would you like to interview?" I have always said Hitler. I've always said I would like to question him. What was he so terrified of that caused him to do this? I'd love to know what compels them to be of that mind that they're going to get in the way of somebody else's growth and pleasure.
What do you think of those cliche podcast questions?
Well, I'm glad to say not a lot of them come along, and I'm very careful about the podcast I get on. And if I do get one of those things, usually I'll just go, "Well, I'm sure there's a better question than that," and I'll actually bring that up. So I'm always very careful how I answer those, and quite often won't.
Now, guys, if you guys aren't, still putting the dots together, he wrote a book called Bluefishing. Bluefishing was basically about, how he came from a London bouncer, really, to a very successful individual that basically created a concierge service that got pretty much anything unthinkable done.
Yeah.
Where people said, "No way." Right?
Yeah, exactly. We did that for about 20 plus years. We did drum lessons with Guns N' Roses, walked the white carpet with Sir Elton John, backstage, on stage, front stage, closing museums. We were basically the Make-A-Wish Foundation for people with really big checkbooks.
Now, my question, if I were listening to your story about Bluefishing, would be, how did you know who to call? How did you know where to begin? Like, not everybody can get to a pope or the pope.
No, and that is a good question, okay? But usually what happens is everyone's trying to find the end result. We know full well that we've got a network. Anyone that's got LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, anything like that, we've got a network. The first place to ask in your network, "Hey, does anybody know XYZ?" You know what it's like. You want someone on your podcast, you approach your network. "Hey, Brad, do you know this guy?" "Hey, I don't, but I know him that does." And you work down that. That's all you've got to do. You've got to start momentum by actually reaching out to your network and coming in that way. When I got Florence, that museum shut down with Andrea Bocelli, I knew nobody in that museum, but I knew people in Rome, that knew people in Florence that could get me in. So it's a ladder effect every single time.
So would you say relationships are key?
I can never go broke with my relationships. That is an arrogant thing to say, but it's not my intelligence, my good looks, my suave. It's none of that shit. It's how I focus on my relationships. That I know if everything hits the fan tomorrow, I can go to my relationships and they will get me back where I need to be. So
even
I think
today, what if you're canceled?
That's if you've done something stupid, and this is key. That's if you've done something stupid, not if you've done something authentic. If you want to cancel me because you don't like me being British, riding motorcycles, drinking whiskey, swearing too much, move on. That's absolutely fine. But you can't cancel me for being me.
What does that mean?
Be authentic, be you. And in a world today where a lot of people aren't.
Well, what if people do cancel you because, like, look at Andrew Tate.
Yep.
You heard of him?
Yeah, of course I have, yeah.
Everybody heard of Andrew, seems like. Now, again, when people say that, it's like just because a lot of people have don't mean a lot of people have. Like, there's probably more that haven't.
I heard about him. The first time I came across him was my son introduced me to him a couple of months ago. I think he was going to be at an event that I was going to be at with Roland Frazier. So I was like, oh, and I looked him up and I saw the style and the way he swaggered and the way he did stuff. And then he wasn't at the event. And then the next thing I heard about him was him getting cancelled.
Now, again, who decided?
I don't know.
Because it ain't everybody that was following him because they liked listening to his shit.
There's something that's going to be unveiled there. Something's got to be revealed. But the bottom line of it is, if it was actually the platform that did it.
That's who did it.
That's going to be troublesome.
Yeah, but
that's going to be scary.
But that's who did it. Instagram and Facebook, they're owned by the same person.
Yeah.
Oh, Zuckerberg.
But why? Why was
somebody
he canceled?
Powerful where Zuckerberg doesn't want to get involved, or Zuckerberg himself said, let's get that big mouth scumbag fucking misogynistic dickweed off our platform. Now, for Andrew, like I think he has a million other people that'll post his shit anyway. So they're kind of screwed with Andrew Tate because Andrew Tate's still on the fucking platform.
Right.
Okay. That's the funny part. Number one. So I always think to myself, dude, fucking Andrew's loving this.
Well, he's just got brilliant PR, hasn't he?
Well, that's the thing.
We're talking about it.
You can't stop Andrew because there's thousands of people posting Andrew shit.
Yeah.
If you stop Andrew, which he never had a page. I never followed Andrew Tate, but I seen him everywhere.
Right.
So I was even told he never had an account of his own.
Oh, really?
So when they say he's canceled, how? I'm seeing him every day still.
Where was he
Other
canceled
people are
from,
posting his shit.
Yeah.
So that means the platform itself is the one that canceled him, but the media's got everybody acting like he's canceled. And now you get all these fucking idiot, what I call fence riders, jumping in with stupid comments like, yeah, fucking finally. Oh, thank God. Enough of this douchebag. Hater comments.
Do you know, I don't know Andrew, so I'll declare that straight off the bat. But wouldn't this be genius if it was actually a PR stunt? If he doesn't have a channel and he's now just put out that he's been cancelled, because we're talking about him, and there's thousands of other people out there that, have done more than him, but we're talking about him. So wouldn't that have been a brilliant PR stunt? I remember reading Ryan Holiday, Trust Me, I'm Lying. Brilliant book on media. If no one's read it, they should. And it's got Tucker Max in there. And he used to spread rumors to get Tucker Max banned from speaking at events. And the beautiful thing about trying to get him banned was he wasn't booked at the time in any case. But it raised so much why is he being banned? Why is he being banned? They booked him. I'm wondering if Tate has actually done this as a marketing and PR stunt himself. That would be genius.
That could be. Because I was told he doesn't even have an account of his own.
As soon as you said that, I'm thinking, there's something going on here. That would be brilliant.
Trust Me, I'm Lying.
Trust Me, I'm Lying. It's a phenomenal book. The funny thing is, it was actually quite a while ago that came out, but due to COVID and the way media handled everything, couldn't be more relevant than ever now.
I always wonder, like the other day I bought a book and it turned out I bought a book. And I'm like, no, I wanted the damn audio book.
You prefer audio?
100%.
Do you know, I like to sit in bed and just read a book. And I think there's something about knowing
I'll fall asleep.
How far you are in the book.
I'll fall asleep if I read a book.
Oh, really? Actually, it does do that. Yeah, I can gather there. But there's something about opening up a book and knowing that you're halfway through or you're getting near the end. You can't see that with an audio or a Kindle.
I bought it.
You bought it.
Trust
Good.
me, I'm lying. You just made
There you go. That's Ryan.
What do you think that is? No. That's Jim Rohn.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I just accidentally started. Dude, I listen to audiobooks, when I'm working out, when I'm driving to work, whatever the case is. Music sometimes, but audiobooks most times. Why? I believe if you want to change what you're getting, you got to change what you're doing.
Yes.
In order to change what you're doing, you have to change what you believe, because that's why you do what you do. So how do you change what you believe?
that my question?
Yeah.
Well, action.
Nope. Get new information. The information that you receive is what causes you to change your belief. Now, again, action is a recipe because you got to take action on shit to even learn. But let's say, for example, I told you fire did not burn you and you believed me. So you saw fire and it didn't scare you at all. You stuck your hand right in the middle of it and then the fire burnt you. You just received new information, did you not?
Right.
And that would change your belief, would it not?
Yep.
That is how we change our belief. We get new information. People don't know how to accelerate that process. So you accelerate the process by getting as much information as you can. Doesn't mean you have to believe it all. You can test it, throw it away. It's bullshit. Yeah, I don't like what that guy's saying, but at least it's information and it's causing you to think, and the thinking is what changes the belief, and the belief changing is what causes the change in results.
I think that's why you do a podcast, though. And that's why a lot of people listen to podcasts, to get a different perspective.
Yeah. Well, I got a unique perspective compared to most people. I think you do too.
We've both been involved in circles that not a lot of people get to be in. And I think that's what it is. When you actually stick yourself in different rooms and, more importantly, different conversations, you get different information. And you get to read things differently.
But to me, it's kind of common sense, don't you think?
That's the weirdest thing. When you actually speak to someone that's really smart, really successful, what they tell you is so simple, you go, how the shit did I not do that originally?
Yeah, or there's got to be more to it.
Yeah, and that's the classic.
Or what most negative hater type people will do, if someone were to tell them that and they walk away, they'd be like, that prick, he just doesn't want to share what he's doing. He just doesn't want to share.
There's a lot of settlers out there.
Dude, there's a lot of people that think rich people are bad inherently because they're rich. That's it. Just because they're rich.
Yeah.
Now, is that nuts?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to a core. If you took away the ability to make money, then who's going to support all the foundations and the charities? Okay, because the poor people aren't going to be doing it, and I'm saying poor people, and that's disgusting. I was a poor guy. You were a poor guy. And it's shit. It's horrible. No one likes it. So we go about our way to try to make sure that we can look after our family. We can build businesses to look after staffs and teams. I think the whole idea of hating the rich is the dumbest thing in the planet.
Do you think you could get rich by doing that?
Get rich by doing what?
Hating on the rich.
No, it's a dead duck. You can't go forward.
I think if you hated on the rich publicly, you would get a big enough following to where you would get rich, and then your following would turn on you.
That would be funny to see.
Well, that's what would happen.
You would become the whole thing that you don't want to be.
Yeah, like you start bringing attention to these rich people. You'd get the fucking people going, yeah, I hate those rich people, and you'd get really famous amongst the people that hate the rich people, which would cause you to be rich, because when you get famous, you get rich.
There's a lot of people out there that actually do try to push drama out there, and the controversy nuts during COVID built up such a massive following. I've heard that, the COVID injection was to inject you with nanobots so they could track you. But
why is that so unbelievable?
Most of the people that are being jabbed ain't that fucking interesting to follow. So I don't understand.
Yeah, but it's not you. It's governments that they're claiming you're doing that.
There is a whole point behind that. Everyone likes to spell rumors.
It's not some evil dude wanting to track random people. It's the government wanting to control random people, and in order to control, you have to track. Anything that doesn't get measured doesn't get managed. So in order to manage the population, I got to control and measure the population.
So you think we all got nanobotted if we
I
I
don't buy into that bullshit, but I'm just saying it's not impossible to believe. No.
Look,
it is not.
Listen,
it is not impossible to believe that JFK was not killed by that fucking Oswald dude. It's very easy to believe that the CIA or somebody else killed him or had him killed. Why? Because he was fucking up the game, Steve. He was fucking up the game. And when someone fucks up the game, when someone fucks up that big of a game, you're going down.
Oh, you're going out.
And by the way, the Epstein conspiracies, there's another one. Like, he supposedly had so much proof of these freaking regal son of a bitches humping the little kids that he got away with fucking anything he wanted. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yep.
Like, if you're the prince or you're some regal son of a bitch or important person and you know this dude's got freaking pictures of you and 12-year-olds on your lap naked, like, he can pretty much get you to say and do whatever you want. Well, dude, what if that corruption ran so thick that shit's true? So when it comes to conspiracies, I just don't believe everything, and I also don't disbelieve everything. I stay what I call neutral. Like, unless I can do something about it, I don't pay attention to it.
You got to hear it. You know, Epstein is just one that's very, very hard to argue with.
Did you know him?
No, never crossed paths.
Do you think he killed himself?
No, I find it
See, again, if you think that's theoretically possible, which so does everybody else, then why isn't it theoretically possible that there are nanobots into the injection and now they are actually inside your body and they are actually altering and merging with your DNA to where now you are a receiver in and out? Why is that so hard to believe?
I choose not to believe it.
Why'd they want everybody jabbed then?
I don't know.
Here's the only answer I got.
What?
That I know for a fact.
Okay.
Money.
Oh, you think a lot of it was money?
Yeah, like people, they're trying to kill us off. And, that's where it's like, I don't listen.
Money's always going to be the generator for everything.
Well, not only that, I stopped listening, Steve, when I can't do anything about it. Like, that's dude, good. When it comes to being vegan, if I thought me not eating animals anymore would save all the fucking animals in the world, I'd stop eating animals. Why? Because I feel sorry for the little bastards too. But I'm not killing the cow. I'm buying the steak at the store. They're like, well, if you didn't buy the steak, they wouldn't kill the cow. Yes, they would. Motherfucker. And that's why I want steak.
See, now, listen to what you can control.
I only mess with what I can control. If I can't control it, dude, I don't mess with it. I can't stop child trafficking. People are like, well, dude, you gotta do something. Dude, I'll donate money. I'll freaking, call the cops if I see it. Like, what can I do? Well, you can't do shit. What are you going to do about governments selling weapons to the wrong governments? What are you going to do if these conspiracies are true? Okay, that's got to be some powerful son of a bitches that can freaking arrange COVID. Okay, and arrange the whole world, not just US, dude. The whole world was shut down. That's power. Somebody in a powerful position is fucking with shit. I'm talking about controlling judges and all that shit. You think you or me or any normal person can do anything about that? No.
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna. I like this is getting darker than I thought, and it should for a good reason. I think the downside. One of the things that's happened with COVID.
If they can silence Donald Trump, they can silence Bradley.
Oh, they can silence anyone.
And they can do it just like this. Like, dude, imagine if you were no longer allowed on social media and you don't have pre-planned 7,000 people that'll speak for you on social media. You might have a couple, like your friends, you call them up. Hey, can you post this? They'll be like, yeah, and you'll still get your jabs on social media. But if Facebook said, no more Instagram, no more Facebook, no more anything I own, you're done. Half the world would go away for you. They would silence Steve Sims.
I don't doubt for a second that it can be done.
Just because of your opinion, just because of your belief, just because of what you think. That's cancel culture to me.
That's cancel culture, but there is another element of it that's even more down to a street level. Not only can those big corporations silence us, but we're silencing ourselves. We went through COVID and we started yelling at things. Black Lives Matter, Asian hate, Me Too, Donald Trump, COVID. So many things came up. Marry that with the fact that people love to catch something that you say, use it as a nugget to make you sound like a prick on social and to make you sound arrogant with that little nugget of, oh my God, he's a racist. Did you hear what he said? Blah, blah, blah. Just by taking that little soundbite and putting it into the wrong framework. Today, as a society, we're scared to have that conversations. Now, if I say something to you and you don't agree, as my friend, you're going to turn around and go, Sims, I don't agree with that. What about this? And we're going to have a conversation. But sadly today, we're actually avoiding the conversations. And that's more dangerous than us being silenced. We're silencing ourselves.
I'll give that a double bomb. That is a truth. But on the other hand, you see some people saying, dude, you can't just sit there and be quiet. You got to stand up and say something.
Yep.
Well, what happens when you stand up and say something and then you get smited, you get struck down, you get silenced, and now there's nobody to talk to. You're all alone, and whoever encouraged you to stand up and fight for yourself now doesn't take your calls anymore.
Yeah. Look, that's going to be a risk. That is going to be a risk.
So you know what my advice would be to people?
Okay.
Be smart.
Like, be smart with your position?
Just be smart. Yeah, like in other words, I'm not going to get on, like my people that post my social media, they even double check and triple check that I'm not saying anything that'll get me canceled. And I'm talking about canceled like LGBTQ, almost like liberal stuff.
Yeah.
I can't be canceled because number one, I'm not saying that shit, any bad shit. The only way I'd be canceled is if, like I said, my opinion on, what do you call them? Transsexuals. Yeah. No, like transsexuals. I don't know what your opinion is on that, but like to me, and again, this would get me canceled, I think. There's no way you'll ever be a woman unless you're born one. You can't do anything to your body and literally technically change into a woman. So when someone says they're a woman, they're a transsexual woman, because we said they are, because in reality, no, they're not. They're still a dude, aren't they? Scientifically?
Scientifically, yes.
Okay, so they're still a dude. We're just pretending that they're women. They're not women, and they never will be a woman unless you're born one. A lot of people would agree to that, but I would also likely get canceled because of that. Why? Well, because the LGBTQ or the alphabet people, as Chris, I think it was Rock.
Was it?
I forget. Maybe it was Dave Chappelle, but he was the funnier hell. He said the alphabet people will get you. But the point is someone might not like what I have to say. And so they say, boom, and they get a hold of someone at Instagram who runs it, which is, obviously liberal. And they agree. I'm now off Instagram. They can just shut your ass up for no reason. I mean, for a reason, but for no real valid reason. And everybody comes unglued about it. Anybody sane, and they should, because that's censorship, and that's that. Wait. But at the end of the day, as an entrepreneur, I still say it's Mark's platform.
There you go. We got there. See, the dumb thing is everyone thinks that they have a right to complain about it. If you're not paying for it, you don't have a right.
It's Mark's platform, folks.
He can do what he likes with it.
If someone because I have Lightspeed, if someone said, hey, I want to train people how to kidnap kids.
Yeah, you can say no.
I would say, you're not fucking putting that on my training system.
Absolutely.
I don't want anyone trained on that. And if everyone said, Brad, that's fucking violating his rights. Fuck you. Okay. You got no rights. It's my shit.
Yeah.
And I'm saying I don't want that shit on there. And now if the world made me do it, I'd be pissed. So in that case, even though I do hate cancel culture, I also understand, hey, it's their platform. Here's what I want to know though. Out of all the people that are sane, I say, where's our social medias? They try to come up with them, but they don't work. You know why? In my opinion? Because there's no drama. Everyone's fucking in the same view. What makes it work is the fucking problems.
Yeah.
Like, dude, more people would get on social media if they had more conflict, more drama.
Sadly, yes.
Yeah. So again, like if I were Instagram, I wouldn't silence people. I would promote those people even more. Why? To get the fucking flurry going.
Yeah.
And that's what they ultimately want anyway.
And it's that platform. As I say, from what we're talking about, Tate, if you never had a channel in the first place, what got cancelled? This may be one of the best PR stunts we've ever heard of.
Well, I accidentally called him Andrew Taint. I went to say Tate, but I said Taint. And then, I thought, damn, this will go viral, but no one cared.
No one cared.
Nobody cared. He's got a lot of fans that'll jump on my thing and be like, dude, you're trying to be the fucking top G. I'm like, who's the top G? At first, I didn't even know who he was. Like, I'm trying to be the top G. Who's the top G? What is a top G? And then I went and, found him. He also emailed me and said, dude, let's drop bombs. I think we'd break the internet. And I didn't know who he was. And it said Emery Andrew Tate or something. I'm like, who the fuck is Andrew Tate? And so I emailed back something and gave it to Jenna to deal with. But if I'd have known that it was that dude, I would have fucking replied. Like, dude, I think he's funny, personally.
I just haven't seen. I only got literally my son George come in with his phone and just go, look at this guy.
Yeah, but if Andrew said he wanted to hang out with you for a day or two, would you let him?
I don't know him. I would definitely 100%
based on his social media.
I'd look him up. I'd try to find out about him. But more importantly, I would try and find out someone in his circle that I knew, that I trusted, and go, what's the guy like? And I would get them.
Well, that would be wise due diligence. I'm talking about just first impressions off social media.
Well, I don't do that. I don't respond to it. I respond to my friends, and it's back to the relationships. You know, how many times have you hung out with someone, I've seen it, and I've reached out to you, and I've gone, hey, I see you're speaking at this event, or I saw you, what's it like? And you've given me your opinion.
Yep.
Okay. That I trust. But I'm not going to go on social where we're the ones that are manufacturing 9 times out of 10 what's on there. So I don't look at social to create my decision. I reach out to the relationships I have and go, hey, saw you dealing with, Billy Bob, what's he like? And if you go, prick, I'm not going to reach out no matter how good the social is.
Now, how old are you?
55.
So you've had life lessons since you were how old?
Oh God, every time something screws up. So I'm always getting life lessons. So, I left bricklaying to become a doorman when I was young. So I made a series of stupid decisions all the way through my life.
But I say I started when I was 16. Why? Because my dad kicked me out. Up until then, I lived at a house and, I was just a kid.
Right.
So although I made mistakes and learned shit, but at 16, I got booted and I was on my own from that day forward.
Right.
When did you get booted?
I left school at 15. I was out at 17, out of the house at 17.
Okay. So from 17 years until now,
yeah.
What is the number one thing you would pass down to someone that you loved, that you wanted to make sure succeeded, and you can only tell them one thing?
God, I would probably tell them to stop making the decisions on what they can see, because we are in a very much of a visual economy now. Look at me, I've got this car, I've got this, I've got all of that. So I would say stop judging it based on what you can see and start unwrapping before you make a decision.
I got to think about that. I got to let that one digest before I judge. I always ask myself, what's the one thing this person, if you could talk to Warren Buffett and you were his son and he had one chance to tell you one thing so you have a wonderful life, what would that one thing be?
Yeah. God, that'd be interesting.
And give people time to think about it. Because when I throw it on you like that, you're just thinking up quick. Like if I gave you an hour, you'd have a different answer. You'd be like, I know one.
Yeah.
But really think about that and ask yourself, what would that be? Because when I ask myself that, I think, damn, dude, there's the one thing, if I could give it to them that they would definitely be successful, it would have to be something around believing in themselves. Because I think the reason most people fail is because they don't believe any better. Their limited mindset. This says the art of achieving ridiculous goals. Let's walk through a few of those steps. How would one achieve a ridiculous goal?
First of all, you've got to have it. And I know that sounds silly to say, but you've got to dream and have a laughable, stupid goal. So Elon Musk, for argument's sake, I want to go into space, I want to build a car like no one else. You've got to visualize it first. There was the old classic Epcot Center, Walt Disney story that's got screwed all over the years. But he died, the Epcot Center came out, and someone said, are you sad that he can't see it? And someone from the podium turned around and said, it's because he saw it that you're seeing it today. What we've got to do is we've got to go for stupid goals and then reverse engineer how to make them happy. How to make them happen. That's the problem we've got today.
Now, if I bought this book Is that what I'd learn?
You're going to learn how to not worry about the laughter. You're going to learn how to actually start going for something that you're willing to be ridiculed at, because that's where you need to be. We need to live in a society where we're going for stupid goals. Not impossible. That word doesn't exist anymore. Start having laughable goals and risk achieving them. We spoke about it earlier in the green room. If you want to make $1 million, don't go for $1 million. Go for 10 and fail and make 5. That's the stuff we got to start doing. And we got to start supporting ourselves. We got to start supporting those around us that are going for those laughable goals. And rather than being the toxic people that point and go, ha, you couldn't do that, challenge them to do it. Challenge them to push themselves. Go with them. Ride their coattails up.
How about help them?
Yeah. If you can't help them with intelligence, support them when maybe they get a little bit down, because we all get knocked as we're trying to climb up.
Hey, by the way, if you guys want to follow this dude, you can follow him on Instagram. I follow you on Instagram, I think. Are you on TikTok yet?
Yeah, I am. I'm Steve D. Sims absolutely everywhere.
So Steve D. Sims. Now I follow him, and sometimes I see you rant about some things. You get cantankerous on a few subjects.
I do. I will moan about the fake gurus. I will moan about...
What is a fake guru now?
It's the twat that leans up against a car he doesn't own and then tries to sell you a course how you can become a millionaire. And sadly, there's a lot of those people out there. They have no substance.
There are a lot of those out there.
There's a lot of people out there that think you just have to yell loud to be popular. Now, you'll get known because you're yelling loud, but those are the people that need to be, you need to look behind them and go, okay, what are you saying? How are you here? What do you have? What have you been through? What mistakes have you made that can show me you've got the experience to actually help me get to where I want to be, rather than, hey, you look great in a swimsuit.
So how do you vet one of those people?
You ask questions. You ask questions of them. You ask questions of that community. You ask questions of yourself. Why are you looking at that person? Is it eye candy and you're just attracted that they're an avatar of who you want to be? Or do you really think that they've got a solution to help you be who you need to be?
So I don't consider myself a guru, but I definitely consider myself now a personality on social media. Would you agree?
Well, the thing about you, and I know you, and you're a loudmouth voice, but you're also a fuck up, and you've made lots of failures throughout your life, and they've given you the experience that I've seen you. I've seen you on stage, and you can be the Brad Lee, stronger, louder than life. But when you're having a conversation with someone, and I've been the benefit of those conversations, you have the knowledge, you have the dropping bombs that can actually help people, because you've screwed up and you've allowed that screw up to refine you, so that doesn't help you again. You are a businessman first and you're a personality second.
That's true. I am a business person first, but as far as the personality, a personality and a guru is not the same thing.
No, it's not. So I think a guru's actually trying to get to your checkbook quick, and quite often doesn't have the substance.
Are there any that try to get to your checkbook but do have the substance?
I don't think they're gurus. I don't think that good people are experts. I think they're perpetual students.
What else bothers you about the world?
Oh, God. The way that we are so focused on what people look like. I want to know the depth. There's so many... Let's call out an industry. You get so many industries out there, whether it be the life coaches, real estate is a terrible culprit for this, where everyone cares about what you look like rather than what you have to bring to the table. I want to know, can you solve my problem? I don't want to date you. I'm married. I don't want to have lunch with you. I want to know, do you have the solution to my problem? And I get very angry when people are out there trying to focus on what they look like over what they have to offer.
What's the remedy for that?
Start focusing on the content. Like, you have great content. I watch a lot of your content, and I like great content. I want to know, can this benefit me? I would say today, probably one of the guiding indicators that you need to have in life today is start being a bit more fucking selfish. Okay? Start valuing your time. You can make more money, but you sure shit can't make more time. So start focusing on the people that actually add value and impact to the time you have left on this green planet.
See, folks, these are like, just to me, common sense.
Yeah.
Why can't people like figure this out for themselves? Because if I go ask, not just you, but I line them all up, we're all saying the same thing pretty much that are real. I mean, real people are saying the same thing.
Yeah, but you know why? Do you know why? You've just hit it there. Because you value authenticity and you are selfish with your time, which is a good thing, you only hang around with real people. So of course you're going to get that answer from the people. You're not going to walk down the road and hang out with a bunch of flakes. That's not your crowd.
But it just blows my mind that so many people, I don't want to say sheep, but that's almost the perfect word for these people.
It's a perfect word.
That just literally go through life.
Yeah, they want to be controlled. They want to be directed. They don't want to think for themselves, and then they bitch at it. You know, it's the society that we're in.
Why don't more people go for stupid?
Well, the successful people do. The non-successful people are terrified.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm trying to get those people in the middle. I'm trying to talk to someone that's aggravated, that's pissed off, that doesn't want to settle for where they are. And 9 times out of 10, as you know, for us to get forward, the first thing we've got to do is we've got to get out of our own way. We've got to stop looking at the shit that doesn't actually matter, doesn't move the needle. You know, when I speak to you about speaking on stages, doing podcasts, there's a point behind it. And that's what we got to focus on. Move with direction. Move with momentum. Stop worrying about the ego metrics, about how many people think you look great riding that bike or talking here. Focus on the people that you can help. I want to talk to the aggravators and go, hey, get out of your own way. Stop messing with your head and start dreaming a bigger dream and go for it.
Hey, and also you speak a lot. They pay you the big bucks to come speak at events now. And you have great presentations because I've seen a couple of them. So what got you started doing that? The first book?
The first book got me people interested in the book, interested in my statement, and therefore interested to bring me to the crowd. That got me the attention. The book certainly got me the attention. The reason I started doing more stages was because I was aggravated being on those stages. Because I would walk up to that stage and there'd be a guy out there going, you can be great. You can do this. Buy my course and you too can be. And it just pissed me off. And it's not that simple. It hurts to grow. We all know that. You're going to fall over. You're going to cut yourself. You've got to get rid of the toxicity in your life, which may be your best mate that's holding you back. It may be your wife. It may be your girlfriend, your boyfriend. You've got to clear up in order to get going forward. And I was pissed off by those fake gurus out there talking in circles to themselves and getting people to think that they can be wonderful. No. Not everyone can. And you know it. When you're on stage and you're speaking with that room, there's going to be a good proportion of that room, especially if it's a corporate gig, are there because they get 2 days in Hawaii, you know, and they're not going to change. You want to find those people in the room that go, hey, you don't like to sell. Your standards want to be higher. I'm here to help you get those standards higher. So it was an aggravation that got me out there based on the way that a lot of people were speaking on stages. And now, as you know, I speak on a ton of stages, and I'm there to piss people off to actually make change.
If anyone wants to book you for a speech, where would they go?
SteveDSims.com, and this is a surprise. Hit the link that says speaker. I make it very easy to find me.
There you go. And then also you guys know where to follow him, Steve D. Sims on social media. You also know where to get his book. You just go to Amazon. Where else?
At SteveDSims.com. I'm not hard to find.
Plus, you got something called a speakeasy that's an occasional spot where you just quietly, secretly bring some people together and have a kick-ass little event. How did one get involved in those?
Again, I've got to. It's funny you should look at it, and it'll just baffle you how people do get involved. But it's on the website. It's called the Speakeasy, and I focus on the problem rather than the speakers. And you've been very gracious to share your knowledge at those events.
I was only invited to one, so I must not have done too well.
Well, it was local to you. I don't want you flying across the US, but I'll be proud to have your other ones.
I'm getting too big now.
You are a little bit. You are a little bit. Your entourage couldn't fit into the room. But I like doing speakeasies because I focus on the problem and not who's going to be on stage. But then I make sure that the people that come into the room are experts at answering your problem.
Dude, one thing I'm going to point out is, like, you know, forget the fact that you're out there trying to show people the way, help people. spread the word, write books, etc. But you also have the ability to pick up like all kinds of A-list celebrities, all kinds of connections. Your Rolodex is through the roof. I'm sure the stories are amazing. Is there any stories in this book?
Of course. I do actually explain various stories that I've got up to, some of the great and wonderful things that make people go, how the frickin' hell did he pull that off? And then I'll explain how I pull it off and how you can do the same. You see, I believe that quite simply there is nothing that I do that anybody else out there couldn't do. I really don't believe that I'm sitting on any other unicorn other than the fact that I did it.
And again, see, I agree with that.
Yeah, good.
And I get you, and I guarantee you, anybody successful would agree with that.
Yeah.
And what I don't get is how come all the successful people agree on shit and the unsuccessful people question what they're all agreeing on? It makes no sense to me.
It doesn't. And
that's what I mean. Like
it's
not common sense. When I say it's common sense, it's only because, well, yeah, I knew that. I heard that. I've learned that. I know that. Well, obviously. Well, duh. But the masses, they're not saying that.
No.
First of all, the masses aren't even listening. And as soon as you say something that's fucking correct and smart, they want to ridicule you for it.
Oh, that's suspicious.
Like, who the fuck you think you are, dude?
Yeah.
Look at this fucking bald-headed son of a bitch thinking he's fucking cool.
Yep.
Like, first of all, open your mind and close your mouth. That would be step one if I were instructing people. Now, I don't coach and instruct people. You do though, don't you?
Yeah.
And do you like one-on-one type shit?
I have one-on-one coaching. Yeah. I don't take on many clients. I think I max out at 15 and I'm all maxed out. So yeah.
Now if I wanted to get Elon, is his name Elon or Elon?
Elon Musk.
If I wanted to get him, like, is he a buddy of yours or no?
I'm very careful who I would call buddies.
Can you text him and he'll text back?
I can text him, yes.
Well, then that's a buddy. See, like I can, me and you don't hang out every day, but I would say, yeah, Steve's a buddy.
We're buddies. Yeah.
So, and again, one day when I'm a billionaire, multi-billionaire, maybe the richest dude on the planet, but that ain't a goal, so I don't think I'll ever hit it. Only because it's not a goal. But if I were someone to the status of him, you could still text me. Nothing would change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, can you text him like that?
I can text him.
Well, then text him and say, dude, get on drop balls, man. Help out my brother Brad. Because, dude, that would be unbelievable. He can even do it by Zoom, even though I'd rather do it in person. But I'd just ask him so many fucking questions that I think everyone would want to ask. Everyone would want to ask. Like, how does it feel knowing or being listed as the richest person in the world? And more importantly, do you believe you actually are? Because I wonder what his answer would be. Because you know what? I'll bet you money, Steve, he's not. The richest people in the world or the richest person in the world does not want you to know them.
So do you want to know a secret?
What?
There's a really bad kept secret in London. So every year, the Financial Times, which is a big pink, it's actually a pink colour newspaper in the UK, they release the richest people in Europe. Okay, there is a party held in Mayfair for all the people that are richer than the people on the list, but not known. And I worked with those people. And if you were on that list, you couldn't go to the party. But if you were richer than anyone on that list and not on that list, you could go to the party. So the richest people you know,
that's the party you want to go to.
Yeah, that's the people.
Yeah, so you agree with me.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, so they say like Elon's the richest man in the world. I don't, even though
recorded.
I don't think so.
The smart people are the people that are smarter, but it's not recorded. And you get to a certain point of money where the money's no longer the question, and that's especially with Elon, the impact. That's the question. Well, that's the drive.
Those are the other questions I want to ask. Like, dude, why Mars, honestly?
Yeah, why'd you wake up in the morning? Why do you do what you do?
No, why Mars?
Why
Mars? Like, why not fix shit here? What the fuck's Mars got to do with it?
Be a great question.
Because he says, well, dude, this one's heading for a distinction if we don't have another place and we're getting started early.
Maybe it's a backup.
Well, if that's the case, what does he know that I don't know? I just want to know everything he knows. Elon Musk. Now, again, you get Elon Musk, dude, the bomb squad will be grateful. Folks, if y'all want Steve to try and use his relationship to get me, Elon Musk, on the show, I want you to tag Steve D. Sims, tag Elon Musk too, and everybody blow that shit up. For the rest of you, and by the way, also go get his book.
Cheers,
Amazon. Go for Stupid, The Art of Achieving Ridiculous Goals. Steve D. Sims. Follow him at Steve D. Sims. Steve, it's always a pleasure.
Stay true, man.
You can always come back. You can be a co-host if you want.
Oh, I'd love to sit there.
Folks, appreciate you. As always, till next time, keep it real.
Dropping bombs with the real Bradley. Subscribe now.